A really typical Dutch meal is, it's honestly very simple food, the food that they make themselves. There's a meal that they call stamppot. It's where you have boiled potatoes and a little chunk of meat and some vegetables and sauce that goes over it, and that's really it. That's their meal. It's very simple, but it's very healthy, and I really grew to like that. I still make it myself. Even being home now for several months, I'll buy all the stuff to make it, and I'll just have a Dutch meal. It tastes really good. There are some dishes where you kind of, I don't really know if I like that or not. For me, there's something called haring, or herring in English. I almost threw up when I ate it. It's disgusting. I did not like it. Some people do, though. One of my companions, he loved it. He would eat them all the time. I couldn't do it. And they love dessert in Belgium and the Netherlands. For some reason, every meal has to have dessert. And it's not something that's big. It's something that's like this big. I don't know why. I don't know where that cultural, aspect came from, but they do believe that meals are better with a dessert at the end. And you do have to eat it. They do eat sandwiches a lot. That's a very popular thing to have. Boterham is what they call it. And so it's a sandwich. And they eat those a lot. That'll be a meal. They'll just have a cold cut meal. Just the bread's right there, some rolls maybe, and slices of cheese, different kinds of meats, and things to spread on it. And just go ahead. It's like, all right. Then they like French fries. They're called frites in Dutch, and Dutch and Belgian frites are very, very popular. You can get just a big, so big of a sack for maybe €3 or so, and it's really good. They have their own kind of mayonnaise they put on it, or they have spicy or other flavors, and it's really good. You can make a meal out of French fries in Belgium and the Netherlands. One thing I always kind of liked was they're called stroopwafels. And it's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of like a cookie that's been they kind of cut it in half, so it's really thin. And they put stroop, caramel syrup, in there, and then they press it down with a hot press, and it's warm and soft, and it's so good. Like I would say for anyone that goes there, you've got to try that. It is delicious. One kind of funny thing is that Dutch people are absolutely crazy about cards. Birthday cards, Christmas cards, congratulation cards, any kind of card. Hallmark makes a killing in the Netherlands. They are crazy about them. My trainer and I, we were in Friesland for Christmas in a city called Heerenveen. We went to visit the family Stein. And we walk in, and they have a clothesline strung up. And on the clothesline are all the Christmas cards they've gotten. And wow, that's a lot of cards. I don't remember the number that he said, but he said, it was 147. You count? Oh, yeah. We know exactly how many there are. And they don't know why, but they really like cards. If you want to get on their good side, on a Dutch person's good side, give them a thank you note. Give them a card. If it's their birthday, get them a birthday card. If you do that, they will respond to that. They will love that. They will think you are amazing. In the Netherlands, they have a really strong tradition of freedom, of independence. That's something that they really, really value. They fought a war to gain their independence, and a lot of the things they talked about in their own little declaration are very similar to American ones. There's a lot of evidence that what they call the Act of Abjuration, it was a model for the Declaration of Independence. So they really understand that idea of we can live our own life. We are our own masters. They really respond to that. And so to them, they really resonate with the idea of you can do what you want. And that's one thing I've always really liked, is that they have that strong idea of personal freedom. That it's not right to dictate what someone does. They don't like it when their government does it. They don't like it when a church does it. They want to feel that they can make their own choices. One kind of random thing for the Dutch is that, your mother always tries to teach you this. You always go to these etiquette dinners to learn this, that the knife goes here, the fork goes here, you hold it there, you hold it. That's really important in the Netherlands. That once your meal starts, you cannot switch your knife and your fork. They will stare at you if you do that in some houses. They really frown on that. So if you happen to have your fork in your right hand instead of your left, you better switch before the meal starts. And they're okay with that if you explain it. That's what I did. I said, well, I'm kind of left-handed when I eat, so I'll just switch these. Oh, okay. And as long as you explain that, you're good. But depending on the family, they can be very picky about manners. So it's always worth it to get a Dutch person to explain good table manners to you. Because that's something that Not all families, just like in America, not all families are as kind of picky about that. But it is worth finding out, because there are some that they feel that is the proper way to do it. And so it's worth learning. And if you can learn the proper way to do it, they really appreciate that. They really appreciate you're trying to work with them and understand how they do things. The Belgians and the Dutch, they share a lot. They were the same country for a very long time. And so in large measure, they share similar food, similar cultural ideas. I would say that Belgians tend to be a little more shy than Dutch people. With Dutch people, they're kind of a little standoffish, but once you get through that, you're good. They'll take better care of you than the family dog. That's this Dutch mentality. They're in my house, they're a guest, they are special. And with Belgians, it's the same, but you have a lot more work to do. After you get through the first layer of shyness, there's a second layer you have to get through. So it takes a little longer. Belgians respond maybe a little more slowly to that kind of thing than Dutch people do, but they do respond. I think, and as far as just, food and kind of other things, it's very, very similar. To be honest, I didn't really have any food that was too wild, but fufu is really good. It's an African dish. You eat it with your hands. It's almost like mashed potatoes that you just dip in a really spicy soup and you eat it. It really throws you off. It's really dense, but it's really good.
What was one of the most crazy or dangerous experiences you had on a mission?
Well, it's not every day that someone you go to talk to pulls a hand axe on you, but it happened to me. It doesn't happen most of the time. As far as I'm aware, it's the only time it ever happened in our mission. And, the best answer to that is just to tell them, have a nice day and just to leave. It's best to just to walk away.
What was a funny language mistake that you or someone else made?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that all the language mistakes in Dutch, they're all really inappropriate. Like if you make a mistake in Dutch, the odds are really good you said something that your mom would wash her mouth out for. There's things you don't say in polite company.
Most extreme weather.
Hailstones about yay big that destroyed our car. Yep, we counted about 400 something dents. We had to count them for the insurance. So we were out there for I don't know how long, counting and marking them, and that car was totaled.